Good morning, everyone. Brian Rhodes here. Well, I want to talk to you today about our feature film, the one that we're developing on and through Steemit. The working title is Better Left Unsaid. I thought I'd best start by giving you an update on our our casting director. Excuse me. As you may not know, we've selected RDC Casting here in Toronto. That's Robin D. Cook. She's has a reputation that's very strong in North America. She's done a number of American movies working with American producers and American actors and so on. I'm very happy to be working with her on this project. I've never worked with her behind the scenes before. But she has cast me in a couple of principal roles for major films. So it'll be interesting to see how things develop with the casting director. I'm really looking forward to it and very excited about it. But I want you to know that the reason that I selected Robin was because I believe she is the only casting director in North America that knows talent and can go deep into the talent pool both in America, the United States, and Canada. And I think that's a very strong asset that she has, and one that I certainly want to leverage or exploit wherever possible. So looking for big things from her. Now, the reason for today's blog. I was reading the script last night, just going through, tweaking. I think every writer always tweaks, probably right up to the point of it being locked down. And it just suddenly dawned on me, oh my gosh, we better start the dialogue right now with a screenwriter who can polish the film. What do I mean by polish? Well, let me put it this way. I'm 70. I'm writing dialogue for from 20 to 28-year-olds in this screenplay. Now, I'm going to really, obviously draw on some of films or TVs that I'm watching now, but I'm not in the thick of what 20 to 28-year-olds are doing right now in their lives, on the street, etc. So I'm going to draw on my experience as a 22-year-old, probably unknowingly, and inject incorrect dialogue, maybe scenes and whatnot that just don't apply today. I mean, just in terms of the internet alone, not even a possibility or not even thought of when I was 22 years old, but now it runs everybody's lives. So, I mean, yes, I've experienced that as an adult, but I've never experienced that as a 20-year-old. So, I need somebody that can look at the script through a 20 to 28-year-old's eyes. And I'm going to ask them to do, or when they polish, they're going to be asked to do a couple of things. Now, the first one is a simple case of cutting descriptions. We devote a lot of time in a script to giving instructions and or setting scenes, and we sometimes do it in prose, which is very often too long. We look at it, or I might look at it and say, oh, that's as short as it can be, but if somebody else looks at it and can cut it up in dropping 25 to 30% of the words or whatnot and not change the meaning, then that's what's got to be done, because there's nothing more than long instructional descriptions and whatnot in a screenplay that puts people off more than that. It's just that bad. So you've got to really get in and cut it down. And I really have to ask somebody to go in and do that, because I'm sure they'll go beyond the cuts that I would accept. As long as it doesn't change the message, then you got to stand back and just accept it as a screenwriter. So that's one of the things that the polisher has to do in terms of descriptions and instructions. The second thing that the polisher should do is cut dialogue. By cutting dialogue, I mean literally. If you can use in 3 words what it might take me 6 words to say, then, and again not change the meaning now in the dialogue, then by all means do it. That's what the polisher's got to do as well. Cut the dialogue, make it less wordy, and make sure the message is carried. You don't change character profiles, you don't change scenes at this point at all. That's not a polisher's job. Polisher's job now is to cut the dialogue, the actual number of words used that have assigned people to speak without changing the meaning. I guess I'd say, you know, there's cut dialogue and then there's change dialogue. Now, it's obvious and it's not obvious. Look, the cut dialogue, you're cutting the number of words. To change dialogue, you are making the dialogue more representative of what a person of that age, in that lifestyle, in this world today, if it's a contemporary film, would say. I might use slang that I deem as perfectly acceptable, but not. So the polisher's got to then deal with cutting dialogue and changing dialogue. It's really surgical. It's not, it's not just hack and slash. So a very tough job for the polisher. And the last thing I like a polisher to do is, how should I explain this? It's maybe suggest alternate locations that better express, what's being talked about in a scene. An example, I'm just trying to pull one out of my mind. Let me put it this way. I might have somebody sitting on a park bench, in a park, and they're talking about, some intimate stuff, right? Relationship, whatever it may be. And of course, a park bench under a tree for me, just conjures up all sorts of images, and it seems to me something that's a recognizable location that you'd seek out for such a discussion. But then, a polisher might come along and say, yeah, but something, not a lot of big, huge park space in major cities, and so, maybe what might be better is a scene in a tight little park, a kiddie's park, so to speak, with maybe that little merry-go-round that you kind of have to push and then hop on, and goes and then dies down. And maybe you have your two characters sitting on that, with one of them just with the foot, and I'm just trying to picture it in my mind, with the foot is sort of just keeping a swing on the foot, a nice rhythm on the foot, and as they go round and round and round, they're talking about life. Now you see, that's very metaphorical, and a lot better than having two people sitting on a park bench. What would be even more impactful is if the two people were 75-year-olds. Think about that. And then it really is quite an interesting image. That's what I'd like a polisher to maybe suggest, or to come up with, or we can maybe arrive at it through discussion or whatever. So that's pretty well it. That's what I'm looking for in this screenwriter to help me polish. One of the other things I would say is this: don't worry about it if you don't have a lot of experience in writing. I'm not necessarily looking for somebody with a lot of experience. I'm looking for somebody who really understands how people talk today, and is maybe open-minded when it comes to discussing some of the things that are possibly discussable in regards to your young environment compared to my environment, and on that basis, hopefully we can come up with something really good. So don't be afraid if you haven't got a lot of credits. If you've got something, please send it to me, and let's at least start the dialogue, see where it might take us, okay? So you can email me at steemfilm@gmail.com. That's steemfilm, one word, @gmail.com, okay? that's it for now. I'll give you another update shortly. You take care and go out and see a movie. There's a couple of really good ones coming out this week that I think you gotta see. Anyway, one of them is Dunkirk. I just can't imagine, if you know the story there, of how they could ever put that story on film. But from the trailers I've seen, oh my goodness, it certainly looks like Nolan's done it. Anyway, I'm really excited about that, and I hope you get out to see it. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye now.